Hello everyone, my name is Alexandre and I'm a data scientist at Diabeloop. My job today is to design new algorithms solving complex physiological problems using techniques like artificial intelligence or machine learning. I was still at school when I realized that artificial intelligence could be very useful in order to help physicists take better care of patients in lots of ways. By working with a psychiatrist, we designed a tool to help him better diagnose some high-risk patients that could harm them or others. And I was actually amazed with how mathematics and statistics were able to better treat or even maybe save some patients. Since then, I knew I wanted to work in the healthcare industry, trying to help and have an impact on patients' life. So you might wonder, what is an algorithm? And it could be resumed as just a list of instructions to do in a certain situation. This is actually what happens to patients when they decide to send a bolus in the case of hyperglycemia. The situation is hyper, the decision is bolus. You give more information like the blood glucose level, have you been eating before, and you will probably take a smarter and better decision. And all the decision process in your head is what is called an algorithm. And the only difference between that and what is machine learning is only whether you define the rules or you let the computer find them on its own. But either way, you can influence your algorithm based on the objectives you try to achieve. Listening to patients and understanding really the physiology behind diabetes, we focused a lot of our development on preventing hypoglycemia. Because we know that today it is the major concern of patients and the biggest interruption in their lives. The idea is to add lots of layers of checks and safety, always wondering if the insulin proposed could harm the person. Then we looked at what were the two biggest events in the daily life having impact on glycemia, which is meals and physical activity. And we tried to simplify those as much as possible. With meals, the idea would be to detect ingestions of carb and automatically adjust, without any interaction with the person who can keep going with his or her life. And with physical activity, we know that the impact not only is right now, but it also have an impact until the day after. And this activity could be as simple as walking, cleaning, or gardening at your house. So adding activity information from a smartwatch, for example, in the algorithm is one way of suppressing the last interaction that is still needed to have a good control over glycemia. Finally, to build a good algorithm, you need to split the task into two. And first of all, understanding the situation and acting in consequences. So based on previous data we collected from patients in lots of clinical trials, we developed what is called machine learning to understand the situation and predict the evolution of the patient glycemia. Seeing lots and lots of data, the algorithm actually learns, like, okay, I saw previously in this case when glycemia is rising, but we already sent 2 units of insulin 10 minutes ago, then glycemia will drop and hit this level in 30 minutes, for example. And we need to be sure that the algorithm really understands the situation, because the decision then is so important. And that is, in my opinion, what makes the work of a data scientist very special, working in healthcare and particularly on diabetes. Concerning the acting in consequence part, I leave that for a future episode with me or one of my colleagues.